In this session, we're going to go ahead and finish our site. Over here, we've got some more stairs which lead into the entrance of the building on the ground floor. Then we're going to also need to draw a floor here to fill up the space. Then over here on this side, we've got this mini garden for which we're going to need to draw the side walls. Then draw the side walls of these stairs and our site will be finished. There will also be an extra session after this where we discuss everything we need to know about topography. Alright, so here it says that from the negative 1.90 offset up to the 0 offset, you would have to put about 10 treads of stairs, and each of the risers should be 19 centimeters high. So the stairs go up and end here. So that's pretty simple. We're going to go over here to the ground floor. And first we're going to measure the overall width of all treads, which appears to be 6.88, and we could also go over to the AutoCAD plan and measure that value more precisely. Let's measure the distance here as well, just in case. That'll be from here to here. It's 6.90. So that's for the width. And what about the height of the treads? I'm going to go over here and measure from this point to this point, and it looks like it's 50. Now I'm going to go over here and grab the stair command, and as for its type, again, we're going to go with the site 1, then set the run width to 6.90, and as for the tread depth, we're going to set that to 50. Now what about the offsets? The base should be negative 1.90, and it has to go all the way up to the ground floor. So now we've got the offsets, and now how many treads do we want? That'll be 10. And therefore, the riser height should be 19 centimeters. As for this message, we're going to click OK, because it's about the standards we have about the stairs. Alright, now we begin from here. I'm going to grab the run command. Then I'm going to draw the 10 treads from here to here. And there we go, now we've got 10 treads. Now click Finish. And now let's take a look at it in 3D. And we're going to observe all the stairs that we've drawn so far. Now the thing is that we need to draw a floor between these two flights to fill the gap between them, and below here we will have the topography. On the side we have a mini garden for which we're going to need to add the floor and the side walls. Now if we go take a look at the AutoCAD plan for it, here it says that the garden adjacent to the stairs should be drawn with a slope that's aligned with the stairs. So that means that this isn't going to be a flat surface with a side wall, but it's going to have to be sloped and aligned with the flights of stairs we've got over here. So it's not going to be in a straight horizontal line. More specifically, here it should be sloped, then it goes straight, and so on all the way to the end. Now here's what I'm going to do for this part. I'm going to go over to the west elevation. So I'm going to have to open my project browser palette, then open the west elevation. Now from this profile, we can tell the slope of the stairs, right? So we could apply the slope to the floor we're going to be drawing as well. In the first step, I'm going to draw a floor that'll cover the whole area, and then I'm going to apply the slope to it. So I'll grab the floor command here, and then I'm going to select one of the generic floor types, then go to Edit Type to duplicate it, and as for its name, I'm going to put, for example, grass. Then I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to draw a floor that covers the entire side of these flights of stairs, like so. Now I could use the sub-element tool and apply the slope I need to this part. As in, I'm going to draw a line between the part that needs a slope and the part that doesn't, and apply the slope to the part that needs it. Now if we take a look over here, we can tell which parts need to have the slope applied to them. Like one goes from here to here, then this part is flat, the second slope is here, and so on to the end of the flights. So it's easy to identify where the slopes go. I could easily use the sub-element tool to draw the line for separating the slopes from the flats, and then apply the slopes. So for example, I'll go to the 3D view, then select all these stairs, along with the floor that we've drawn on the side here. And then we're going to press HI. Then we're going to switch to the top view. So as you can see, this is the limit of our garden. Alright, now I'm going to select this, then click over here on Add Split Line. Then I'm going to draw a line right here along with this last step. And as for the second one, that'll be aligned with the first thread of the next flight. And also remember that drawing it close enough would suffice, but if you would like to draw it 100% precisely, you can go ahead and use a reference plane. But I'm just going to go by eye. And here goes the next split line. And as for the last split line, it goes here. Alright, so now the first thing I'm going to do is adjust its offsets. Just like the flights of stairs, if we consider the height of this garden, it should end at the same offset as the top of the stairs. So first I'm going to adjust its offset value. That's for the top, it's negative 1.90, and for the second part, I'm going to apply the slope. I could easily just select it and modify sub-elements, and then I'm going to grab it by this line and drag it downwards. After that, I'll select this one and bring it down to this edge over here, and as you can see, it's pretty easy. Now I'm going to go over to the opposite side and grab it and move it a little lower so it's completely aligned with the landing. Now we go on to the next part. We're going to grab this one and bring it down. Then we grab the opposite side and move it down to here. There goes this part. Now on to the last one. We're going to move it all the way down aligned with the stairs. And here's the result. So this is an easy way to align the floor with the slope of the stairs. Now what we've done so far is that we found the parts on the stairs which were flat and sloped. Then we drew corresponding split lines on this floor so we could align it with the slope of these stairs. We used those lines to bring the floor lower and aligned it with the stairs and their landings. So it's kind of like the same thing but without the treads. So this is how easily you can draw a sloped floor. And now that I've drawn it, I can easily go over here and change its thickness, which will have to be a little bit more. So instead of 5 centimeters, I'm going to make that 20 centimeters. And I'm going to also give it a grass or soil material so it indicates that this is the garden that needs to be created. Now let's check the result. And here it is. Now while we're at it, let's also add the side walls. We're going to go over to the ground floor and draw the side walls from there. But first I'm going to have to measure the distance here. And it looks like the walls should be 20 centimeters thick. Now among the types, we've already duplicated a 20 centimeter wall, so we're going to use that same type. And we're going to go ahead and draw the side walls for this garden. Another one should go up here. And then there's this wall on the side, which will also need to be aligned with the slope of the stairs. I'm going to place the other wall and show it to you in the elevation. Now let's go over here. This right here is the stair sidewall, which you can see that it's designed aligned with the slope of the stairs. And you could also use this AutoCAD file to measure its distance and check its dimensions. So from here to here, that'll be, for example, 65 centimeters. And so now we know that the elevation of this stair sidewall is of that value. Now that I've drawn these walls, I could also readjust their elevations and other dimensions if necessary. This one's elevation and the offsets are all wrong. Now, which elevation does this start at? It's at -7. So the base will be -7 and the elevation is 65 centimeters. Typically, we would need to do Edit Profile to adjust the slopes of this wall. So Edit in the Profile is what we're going to do to create this shape. Therefore, I'm going to go over here and select this wall along with the stairs. Then isolate both elements. Then we go to the 3D view. And first we will adjust the wall's offsets. We said that its base should be -7 offset, which is the first FFL. So it begins from here. And now we're going to adjust it with the stair slope. So I'm going to go over here. And first I'm going to put a 65 centimeter offset to this wall. And this is what it's going to look like in the first step. Alright? Now we're going to need to draw a couple of lines at the 65 centimeter offset. which means I'm gonna have to go over here and go with the offset 65 centimeters. And then I'm gonna put one line from the bottom of the stairs, then another here, and so on to the end. And that's it. After that, I'm going to trim all these lines together. And also remember that this only applies for when your client does not require a 100% precise drawing from you. If they expect you to draw a specific form of wall, then you'll have to have a plan and import it in here, and then draw your wall lines according to that plan. Then you'll be sure that it's exactly how they want. But because we had to make some overall modifications to the stairs and we didn't have a specific plan for them, we just decided to draw the side walls for them at a 65 centimeter offset aligned with the slope of the stairs. So now that I've trimmed all the lines, the bottom side below the stairs really just depends on the details as to whether it should be filled or if there should be a belt below the stairs aligned with the slopes. But because we have topography in this plan, the wall shouldn't be going all the way down like this. So it might be better if we had another offset lower than the stairs. For example, I'm going to make that about 20 centimeters, then place another offset here underneath this entire stair path, like so. Now let's add the others. Let's undo this one and draw it again. And at the end, I'm going to close the offsets. I'm going to change the offset to 0 from here, then draw this line to close the end, and then I'm going to trim the lines together to clean it up, so we would have a closed boundary of offsets around the stairs. Now on to the last one. And there we go. So as you can see, we've been able to draw the side walls, which will serve as the railings for the stairs. And here's the result.